So Sharon Osbourne was interviewed for The Times, and she has thoughts about what happened with Whoopi Goldberg, who was not fired after her thoughts about the Holocaust, and herself, Sharon, who was let go from the talk. And she sums it up very succinctly. So the Daily Mail reports that Osbourne implied there was a clear double standard. That's her fired from her show in March 2021 for defending Piers Morgan during his war with Meghan Markle, while letting Goldberg stay after she said that the Holocaust wasn't about race. When the Times asked about the double standard, Osbourne just said, "I'll tell you why, because it's the Jews and nobody gives a fuck." Yeah. Osbourne, thank you, Brian. Osbourne, whose music producer father, Don Arden, was Jewish, added that she likes Goldberg, and she was making a point about show business as hypocrisy, not her personality. And of course, we all know this stemmed from Piers Morgan had thoughts about Meghan Markle, who said that she was suicidal on her sort of bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey. He wasn't buying it. Sharon defended his right to his opinion that he wasn't buying it, and then was sort of summarily let go.
That's insane, obviously. We're in some weird... I hope we can all look back in this period and go, what the fuck were we doing?
You remember that Meghan Markle thing? We put it, we did an interview, a thing where we spliced Kyle in with Oprah, but we kept putting in about, ask your doctor about pills, because that was their whole mental health, and I was suicidal. This is why I believe the court thing could be a totally real thing. Then the ask about Paxil. So it was a perfect synergy with his... Oh, yeah, our thing is mental health. So they're building this production company. It's on Oprah, and that's how you launch your fucking... And it's perfect, but like to synergy with... So I noticed it because people in England that I guess were watching were tweeting like, wait, you advertise fucking brain pills on TV? Like,
that's mind-blowing.
Yeah, nobody does that. That's fucking crazy. Prescription drugs. So if you think of how mad they got at Rogan with like, he took a horse dewormer. Well, a doctor prescribed that to him. And you've been saying, ask your doctor about this. And then all of a sudden, that shouldn't even be a thing. They advertise medicine you can't.
Right to the consumer.
Yeah, like go tell your doctor what to give you.
Right.
For 20 years they've said that.
It's pretty crazy.
You know, the craziest cancellation in this whole realm, and she's pretty crazy because she defends her friend Piers Morgan, who basically says, I don't like Meghan Markle, who thinks every fucking thing's racist, even though she doesn't experience it and is living a fucking charmed life. She's a fucking shrew. And they fire Sharon Osbourne for defending. It's insane. That's insane. But you know, the one we forget about, I just thought about this last night. One of the guys from Mumford and Sons. Remember that guy?
Yes, I remember that.
That guy got canceled.
He read Andy No book, right?
Yes, he got thrown out of the band for saying, you should check this book out. Like, this guy's brave. Andy No is gay and he's Asian, and he was beaten within an inch of his life by Antifa. And the guy from Mumford and Sons said you should read the Antifa book, and that was too much for the left. Too much. You guys are for Antifa? Like, I don't even know what the fucking rules are anymore. Dude. The guy wrote the books Gay and Asian, so he gets a little intersectional whatever. He doesn't like Antifa.
No, you don't get it.
So he doesn't get it.
Not.
So he writes an Antifa book, and then somebody reads it and says, this guy's brave, and he gets fucking thrown out. That's insanity.
Dude, a bunch of people, especially like actors and shit like that. I got to argue with Sacha. I used to work with Sacha Cohen. Sacha's a smart, he's not like dumb, but he was like, there's one sketch I had nothing to do with on that Showtime show about, it was like a pro-Antifa sketch. I just happen to know from friends that live there that they suck. Like
in Portland?
In Portland. Because it's pretty loose other than in Portland, where's where Andy No, I think, got hit, right? Or there's people from Portland. And he goes, they're just lesbians marching. He's like, what's wrong with punching Nazis?
Right.
Like, well, I mean, first of all, if Nazis are that much of a problem, we're going to have to shoot them. We didn't win by punching.
Right.
Okay. And two, it turns out they're not that great at identifying who's a Nazi. Just whoever they want to punch suddenly becomes a Nazi. So those are so it's just a thing where people are like, oh, those are the good guys. They're like, the name literally, they're like, oh, it's anti-fascist. And especially if you're Jewish, that's why the Whoopi Goldberg thing is amazing. Because so she said the Holocaust is like white on white crime, basically.
Man's inhumanity to man.
Right.
And they clear out a space on Colbert for her to apologize. That's how big, something nobody cares. They go, you're going to go on to Stephen Colbert, Claire, whoever he has, and apologize. And she doesn't. She goes, well, I just kind of see it. And the thing that I love is they're all supposedly supposed to think that because they all bought into this shit, which says, oh, yeah, you're not. There's a whole bunch of people who are like, oh, yeah, I'm Jewish. I'm not like the white people. I'm making fun of them. But like, no, that's what they say about you. You didn't know that? Whoopi read the homework, and Colbert didn't read it, and none of the other people did.
The problem with the era we're living in is Antifa would be the opposite of MAGA, let's say. So they'd say, well, who do we got? We got MAGA over here, and then we got Antifa over there.
So
and
MAGA
then,
is pho in this.
Right. So we got that, we got this. So Hollywood is so fucking retarded and sanctimonious and fucking stupid. And so is, MSNBC. They just go, oh, well, we hate the MAGA guys. So who hates the MAGA guys? Antifa does.
They must be the good guys.
Okay, well, then we'll support Antifa. It's like, no, they're fucking horrible, out, beating up everyone and putting their hands on everyone and lighting fires and all this kind of shit. Even the Antifa guys, I remember that whole, I think it was the We Spa thing came out here, and they were protesting
the protest.
that they didn't want two bathrooms, or they only wanted two, or they didn't want a man.
Thing that happened here?
And then Antifa showed up and started beating the shit out of people there. They're not your fucking friends,
out of
people.
The women that were, by the way, that's only, who goes to a spa like that? That's only low income
and Gina.
People of color.
That's right.
And the guy turned out to be some kind of, like, he is a sex offender. He was just showing his dick to fucking kids, it turned out.
Well, he's the opposite of
I always go
MAGA.
there on the wrong day.
The point is think how crazy it is to say that I read a guy's book about Antifa and you get thrown out of your fucking country band. It's fucking nuts.
Well, I mean, I've seen that for a while. The important thing is being at the right lunch table. And
yes.
And also that Star Wars thing you just described. I hate that everything's got to be the epic battle between Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Like everything has to, and like wars, they do that. They always, I mean, that's historic.
Good and evil.
Since Star Wars came out, and all this shit doesn't really split along those lines. But it's like your duty to be like, yeah, well, we have to not think about Andy. No, that's our duty because, MAGA.
Yeah.
It's so funny. You just reminded me, Kurt. I'm reading this book right now. It's like very hippy dippy, like spiritual self-transformation.
The Bible?
Yes. It's this book called Universal Human. I like to read all kinds of stuff. And it's like but like the point is like it's very like spirity, soul woo-woo. And the author goes on for chapters about how the worst thing that the world and that you as an individual can basically do, and I'm paraphrasing, is assign yourself to part of a community. Because everyone thinks...
I've screamed that for 1,000 years.
Right. But you and the most spiritual self-new thought guy. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's coming from that side too. Like, you think it's because you want to be with people like you, but what it really is you want to keep people you're afraid of away from you. And it's the dumbest thing that we've all done throughout history.
Be in a group or any... I mean, I get... My whole obsession is that Jehovah Witness kind of patterns repeating and... I left, and then all the same shit that I didn't like is how everything works everywhere. Right. So especially that like herd instinct thing where you're disfellowship, like, I'm not atheist, but if I wanted to be, I would be qualified because I would understand what it is that is missing from my life if I want to be that way. A bunch of these people that were pretty cocky about it had no idea what they were giving up. And so now the sense of community only can be, if you want to say it's made up, that's fine, but you had a gatekeeper there to keep your sensibilities from, in prayer time, not a lynch mob, which it can go to so quickly. And then they find the it's not really satisfaction, they got to keep going. I guess it sounds like Star Wars. It's dark side. I guess it's a good analogy, actually.